Hello everyone. Tim Hudson says there's more than one way to do things. There's always different points of views and styles of pitching. If you're still confused about what are the perfect style you need for a great pitch, you are at the right place. A wonderful evening, everyone. I'm your host for today, Mohindi Madhumage, on behalf of the organizing committee of Let's Talk IEEE Young Professionals Sri Lanka. I warmly welcome you all for the third session pitch game of the talk series SkillUp and StandOut. This year, Let's Talk Young Professional Sri Lanka has come to you with a fresh start, especially with our talk series Skill Up and Stand Out with some insightful talks. We designed this talk series to sustain our young professionals with the best professional skills and to burnish your personal traits to become more successful. So let's begin the event with our third talk session, pitch game, to craft you as one of the finest young industrialists. Commence with, I cordially invite Rashenka Savindi, a member of the program team of IEEE Let's Talk 2022, to welcome the gathering. It's over to you, Rashenka.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you, Mahindi. Good evening, everyone. Hope you are all doing well. In this evening, it is my pleasure and honor to welcome our guest speaker for today's session, Mr. Leslie Udwa Vidana, and the all executive committee members of IEEE Young Professional Sri Lanka, all other committee members of IEEE Sri Lanka section, affinity groups, technical chapters, and our delegates who are present here today at the event. Today, IEEE Let's Talk unfolds their third episode in Skill Up and Stand Out talk series under the theme of Pitch Game, which will be focusing on pitching effectively and effectively.
I think Rashenka has some connection issues. So, behalf of her, I would like to welcome all of you for this session. Uh, so, moving on, now is the most awaited part of the day that is sure to keep you at the edge of your seat. Our esteemed speaker will discuss the vitality of presenting your pitch in the best possible way and what skills you need to develop to make your own potential in pitching. Without further delay, let me introduce you our guest speaker, Mr. Leslie Udovidana. Mr. Leslie Udovidana is a marketing communication specialist who has secured serving of Sri Lankan three best national brand, namely Sri Lanka Tourism, Silanti, and Sri Lankan Cricket at the level of strategic planning and marketing communications. With over 25 years of experience in the advertising industry, he worked with international agencies and presently he is working for BOI as the Director of Media and Publicity. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Leslie Udovidana. It's over to you, sir.
Recording in progress.
Okay, I think you guys can hear me, and video also on. Am I clear and visible? Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. Very
Yes, sir.
good. Very good evening to all of you. And thank you so much inviting me to discuss something worthwhile. And Mohidini said, Mohindi, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrongfully about it. Something
That's right.
worthwhile for all of us rather than lecturing. I'm not a person, uh, even though unfortunately sometimes you recognize who's in academic and professional level as lecturers. We are not here to lecture. I'm not here to lecture. I'm here to develop a dialogue, all of you. And this session should be interactive much as possible. And only concern is we have this blackout situation or power cut situation. Hope people can listen to me tandemly. Of course, I came to office all the way. Uh, Normally, I'm not coming to office on Saturdays um, because of I want to make sure that it's not going to. Normally, World Trade Center doesn't have a problem of electricity. They 24 hours they run the show. Therefore, that case, I think, as somebody who's doing this discussions, hosting the discussions, there will be no hiccups from my side, and hopefully we can continue our discussion. Uh, Let me thank you all of you again. IEEE Young Professional Chapter and the organizing committee and their mentors, whoever, and all the universities and all the higher education institutes, participant and your members, whoever joining today. Uh, the purpose is today talk about uh, most important thing. Sometimes it's unfortunately misunderstood. We call pitching game or pitch game. Now, as an innovator or innovation led startup, for that case, it can be anything. I mean, it's maybe your personal life. There's a pitching going on all the time. But a young industrialist and people who mostly involved with technology services, technology management, industrialist, and the vicinity of Industry 4.0. There are so much we can talk about today. What is this all about? Skill up or upskilling or reskilling is very important today. And these are the kind of tag words to or meta tags these days. These things are recognized by all over the world. And this is what we need to understand. What is this all about? Upskilling or reskilling or stand up. I'm going to use a PowerPoint presentation and some video clips in order to develop a dialogue here. The premise is all about, I think, nothing much than this presentation is all about. Now let's get into the core of the subject today. If I'm not audible properly, please tell me. I'm going to stop the video. And of course, I'm going to share my screen. Just tell me if you have any audio situation. From my side, there is a lag. I would be able to stop the video then and there. And also, I don't know how to you moderate the questions. If anyone need to put any question on the same time I'm talking to, it's up to the management team of this session. I'm more than willing to take question as when it is required or after this session. Therefore, I have put the ground rule very clearly. First, we need to develop a dialogue rather than monologue or rather than stand and deliver thing. It's a kind of a facilitation session. And of course, we need your proactive response for the session. That's the most important thing, because I'm a student still. I have a lifelong learning attitude. Therefore, pitching games, upskilling yourself, and stand out is your talk series topic. And how would create a young professional who is future ready. Let's talk about the category what we are in rather. We are in the category or the segment of the society we call engineers. Now, if you see, give some credit to all of you. If you see one of the salient feature of developed countries like one of the leading countries such as Singapore and China, I don't know whether you heard about their lawmakers, the parliament, the legislation, 99% are consist of engineers. Maybe the one case, place like Singapore, China, is a super duper developed and catching up with whatever it is they are taking up or whatever they touch turned into the gold. Even though my background is in humanities and subsequently in management, but I'm most of the time end up with teaching technological subject and technology management in technological departments. But I say so as a young engineers or full engineers or full-fledged engineers in future, you have a upskill Herculean task ahead. What is about this skill up and stand out or stand up? Therefore, I start with this session. It is all about your mindset. What this mindset is all about? Now, what I got from my good friend Sahan, his mail, saying that there is a content, he said that indirect, you better get ready for that and deliver. That's fantastic. I really like when you have a kind of a definition what I'm supposed to do rather than all over. How to customize your own pitching game. That's the first point Sahan has given to me. The second point he has stipulated here, how to avoid your weakness and effective pitching. And so on, the steps to polish and smooth up your storytelling and presentation, how to identify startup ideas, path you seek an audience, why pitching is fundamental and industrialist, and what are the specific professions. That's really good. I mean, that's really nice of you, your organizing committee, giving me a clear brief what I should talk. And also, I may revisit this topic and there will be little adjustment here and there, because as a teacher, I have been teaching very dearly, and my experience in technology teaching and teaching design thinking and innovation in few universities here and outside, I do understand your requirement. I hope I can do the justification. Let's talk about, let me share my screen. And I hope you can see my screen now. And okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. We can
Sir.
see.
Okay, very good. Let you tell me the one industrial input. This is my point of view. We are using PowerPoint. This is very important to you about the business communication. PowerPoint means power the point. Therefore, you are not putting harangues of things in your PowerPoint. Therefore, you put your important points in a bullet form, and now you put a small statement below the slide in that summation, in every slide of. Therefore, I have been experiencing most of the people putting all the text on the PowerPoint slide and reading. Therefore, not only I'm a technology teacher as well as management teacher, I do the business communication. Therefore, pitching of your presentation should be very clear. And also, it is better to avoid colorful slides if it is absolutely necessary, because when you mail this your presentation somebody, white background would be the ideal. I'm not saying this is God saying, this is open for discussions, but I think this is the best way. This is what I gathered from Professor Pat Sherry, my PhD supervisor at New South Wales University. He came to PIM where I learned my master's. He gave this valuable point. I still respect his point of view. Okay. Now, what is this all about? It's a pitch. What is a pitch? And then, what is a game? And then, how we are going to play it. Now, as a professional, maybe you have ideas. You need to write across to your student, your colleagues, your fellow students, or that case, your academic, your supervisors, your final project. It can be a business communication project. It's end of the day pitch. It's not the pitch you are going to talk about when you're going to do a startup, getting the angel funding. I understand you what is the angel funding, the seed money, the initial capital to get your idea, make reality, run a business. Or maybe you already have a kind of innovative idea. You are running it. You are maybe in the second or third year of your company, the startup, and you need to expand. Therefore, you need people who come and buy your equity. Therefore, you have to tell your story and convince them. Therefore, it's a pitch. Now, when you see what is pitch mean, I mean, in a cricket, there is a pitch. We call bouncy wicket, or that wicket has a lot of grass, or that is like a very dry pitch, which is like a paddy field in Sri Lankan context, and there are so many crack, and you're telling this, what is this pitch? Now, sometimes say that guy, his pitch is so high, his music is good, but he's pitching his voice out of the music. Therefore, this plethora of multifaceted explanation on what is his pitch about it. But as a really good bowler in a cricketing context, you understand what type of pitch I have, and you use the line and length of the ball. And if you are a spin bowler, you control the angle of the ball and number of rotation cycles, and make sure you bring the batter to the front foot and expose the front leg. Two things will happen. If it is a dusra, it will go other way around. If it is a flipper, it will go straight and get the LPW. Likewise, you have objective. When I am pitching something, I need to hit the wicket. What do you mean that? I need to get attention of my investor. That's the end of the day. Get the money. It can be anything. It's your target audience, right? Therefore, it is the game. Game is the competition. Now, today, we are going to watch one of the best pitch presentation within the 3 minutes. Yeah, the UK is very popular for that. I think they offer $100,000 for prize money for the best pitching we are going to witness today. And that's a game. And you know what is the game of the throne. You may have watched it on Netflix, or in that case on other cable channels, and how they play it. Now today, I'm going to tell you total different perspective. Now, if other people here, you can chat with me all the time, please. You can put in things there. I hope there are marketing people who learn about marketing while doing electronic and engineering degree or completed. Maybe you have done SIMA or SIM or SLIM or Chartered Institute of Marketing, and you know all about what is pitching all about, that context in advertising and product development and product launch. Those are the pitch. The engineering point of view, when you have a concept, you put into the people at the board of directors of your company. If you're working for the telecom, you are coming up with your new idea about Internet of Things for the entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial sector or SME sector. You will tell that I have an idea where we can enable with our cloud system how to use Internet of Things, runs agriculture, run greenhouse, run a business, or launching a semi business for foreign country. Therefore, you do this game like randomly. This is how you play it. Now, today, I think you know that. I mean, you don't need a teacher. In conventional wisdom, you don't need a lecturer or a guest speaker to tell all those theoretical aspects of what is pitch all about. If you put startup pitching within 0.44 second, you are going to get 256 million, if not more than that. How can I say? Resources, website, PDF in a blink of a second. Therefore, I'm not going to tell you this pitching platform, pitching desk. Of course, I'm going to see that. I'm going to show that, but I'm not going to talk about it. It is in vain. I don't want to waste your time, because I'm always believing think out of silos, think out of conventional wisdom. You need to challenge convention, because I don't know you heard about Kumar Tungamunidas. Anyone can say yes to that? I will be the happiest person under the sun on the chat box. Anyone here the Kumar Tungamunidas? I know you know Steve Jobs, Wozniak. That case, anyone innovate you guys? Warren Buffett, of course, our Sri Lankan proud son, Chamat Paliyabitya. The same manner, I don't know you heard about fantastic human being called Kumar Tungamunidas. People call he's a linguistic, but I think it's a gross understatement of that man. Kumar Tungamunidas is happened to be an anthropologist. He's a cultural anthropologist, but he talked about singular language. He's a researcher. He has a very nice poem in his book, P.S. Samara. There is a book he wrote about maybe 50, 60 years. You guys are definitely in heaven that time. Maybe I'm also like that. I'm also not that old. He said his one verse is Viritveki, if I'm not mistaken. Viritveki is how to write poetry. That's an English translation of it. The fundamentals of how to write a poetry. In Viritveki, he said nice Vakia or the sentences of the poem. He said that Alut alut de notanana jatiya lo nonagi. Alut alut de notanana jatiya lo nonagi. Hinga kema bariutana lagi gaya margi. If country is not developing new things, new ideas, unfortunately, they are not going to develop. They will become country, the people, countrymen, they will end up with singing their death song, which is we are doing with the IMF, composed by IMF, provided music by so many civil servants and politicians, and we are singing our death songs these days. Thereby, the innovation word is today the name of the game. Your upskilling, your standout, your pitching is only based on one thing. How innovative are you? Now, that's the point. I mean, you go there and type, you get business canvas, business model, and so many people. We can Tom Brown, design thinking, Professor Gracia's business canvas, Professor Namoski, again, business canvas. You get maybe dozens of brilliant ideas. But the point is here we are going to talk about what is all about innovation. In order to come up with the mess we are today in, unfortunately, you are especially in the receiving end. Even my kids are in the receiving ends. Therefore, the pitching is today of the innovation. Therefore, my premise today, how you become innovation, how you become a seed of innovation in order to find your investor. Therefore, I'm going to go to the next slide, startup. Now, startup is the buzzword, maybe 10, 15, 20 years old, even though still we using like hugely hack word like strategy, and startup also colossally used word. And startup is all about idea. And startups is coming with synonymous with entrepreneurship. Now, what is the entrepreneurship? What is the startup? What is the pitch? There is a common denominator, everything. Now, if anyone has a problem with understanding on this English word, please tell me the things. We will tell in Sinhala also. But unfortunately, my Tamil is, up to no good. If I'm going to talk about all those things in Tamil, it is going to be a Sariyana Karachal. Therefore, I'm so sorry about if there's any Tamil friend of mine or Muslim friend of mine here who could not understand English properly. Please forgive me. That's my weakness. I'm not good in Tamil. Right, coming back to all those things, why I'm talking about innovation? Because innovation is the new thinking. Now, invention, when the invention become commercially viable, it's become an innovation. Innovation is a new idea. Innovation is looking at a total different paradigm, looking at differently things. Therefore, your pitch game, you have so many things you are in a pitch. If you see the what you call pitch desk, that's a very popular template or platform to develop your presentation. Let's talk about what is your objective, what is your vision, what is your target audience, what is the problem you are going to solve, what is the prototype you have, and how you're going to give them, and what are the research you have done, or if you have already started your business, what is your P&L, because P&L is will give you your story is all about your P&L if your organization is already started your business. Or if it is not a business already going on, it's all about your innovation. Maybe you don't have a technology to the prototype. Maybe your diagram, your wire diagram will be your idea. Okay, it's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you see brilliant startups like Facebook, YouTube, Square One, you name it, everything started with Airbnb, one of the famous startup. You may have gone through a Shark Tank. You know how many people get support from investors, angel investors. Therefore, you may have witnesses. Therefore, these things are important. I'm not saying that. But the biggest, ultimate important thing, how innovative are you? Not only with your idea, but how you bring up your pitch game, how you convince. The convincing pitch, the convincing idea is all about how you put across, is all about innovation. Therefore, let me see next slide. Now, you talk about in your third point, we talk about storytelling. Now, what is this story is all about? Let's take example. You heard about Airbnb, I hope. Anyone can type what is Airbnb all about? I love to hear, because I know maybe it's muted. Everybody is going to talk. There will be a problem. Anyone can type what is Airbnb? It sounds very familiar. You should know that because it's all about new idea. Now you heard about big hotels. Okay, let me see. Yeah, booking app, very good. Fantastic, Kuluna. And what is this booking app is all about? You know Marriott. Marriott is happened to be, unfortunately, right in front of me. Marriott is just skeleton is there. Somebody got some pagawa in Sinhala, and that Marriott building is only the structure. I can see even background because I'm in the 27th floor. This Marriott building is already built 52 stories, but it's just skeleton is there. And I was very JW2 Marriott. They are owning more than 3 million rooms in the world, 152 hotels, properties in 90 countries. One of the leading brand in the world. Because of somebody's stupidness, we don't have this hotel operation in this country. Marriott took 75 years to go to the 5 million rooms level. And Airbnb got only 5 years to go to 5 million rooms. Now you can see the innovation can do a world of change. How it's happened? What is the story behind the Airbnb? I hate these theories. I can give you so much theories, but we talk about case studies. I have so many case studies to talk about today. And what are those case studies today I'm going to talk about? Is let's see the talk about pitching game and the story. Why it's very important to understand Airbnb is their team and what they did, their story, and how the investors, corporate investors, venture capitalists, angel investors bought their company in willingly. Because tourism, the target audience has been changing from millennium, from the 2000 year of 2000. Because if you go back to the time clock backwardly, if you go to the 1970s and 80s and 90s, why people came to Sri Lanka? They came to Sri Lanka to see sun and sand and the beach. Suddha fellow came to Sri Lanka, maybe Englishman, maybe a German guy. He has enough food and he go to the beach and try to tan his color and reading a book and maybe surfing, maybe having occasional go to the sea and the beach and have a little fun. That's all. But because of the demographic change, the tourist pitch for experience has been changing. They become experience seeker. Rather than wait and see on the beach, they become experience seekers. Now target audience change. Therefore, they don't want to go to these big brand names. They say that, okay, we want to become experience seekers. Therefore, they want to go to the countryside. They want to see how traditional Tamil household mother, Amma or Appa, is cooking. How is traditional Muslim family is behaving, how their delicacies, how their food. Same thing with Sri Lankan typical, how they cook in their rice, what are their vegetables, how they're preparing. Therefore, this tourist become a traveler. Tourist is not an experience guy. Traveler is become an experienced person. Therefore, Airbnb, two people got together. They said, look, chum, there's a huge market for an experience and we don't have money. let's come up with the new innovative business model. That is the innovation. They said that why not? Rather than spending $2,250 or $1,000 per night, spending $50, $60, $70, lesser than 100 rupees, but experience Sri Lanka beautifully, experience India beautifully, experience Uzbekistan beautifully. Now that is where they said that we will provide you a bed and breakfast, B&B. That is how it's become a Airbnb. Now it was a hit. It was a hit. That is why Marriott took nearly 50 years, not 75 years, sorry, 50 years, if I'm not mistaken, to the 5 billion rooms, whereas this guys took only 5 years. Now you can see innovation is, there are two types of innovation. Your story can be an incremental innovation, can be a what? Can be a disruptive innovation. You totally disrupt the existing business model. That's what who did? Airbnb, two executives who brainchild who developed this program. And then it's not only the app, the horizontal integration, backward integration. They are selecting. There are so many things. If you go, there are so many case studies. You can see that will learn something very good. Therefore, idea is the most important thing when you pitching. It's not that how beautiful your pitch. There is a problem. This is the answer. This is my strategy. This is my innovation. Therefore, it is not your English. It is not going Sinhala, or it's not your app. No. It's the idea, the thin underline, the experience. What verticals you may be in technological vertical. You may be in a vertical of healthcare. You are in the vertical of travel and tourism. You may be in the vertical of apparel. Everything has the technology. Therefore, what did Airbnb is using traditional, conventional wisdom with the technology they developed the organization which won heart of the mind of the traveler. It's not the tourist. There is a distinct difference from traveler and a tourist. Tourist is coming, they are little passive, but traveler is more active. They are experiential seekers. Therefore, when you are looking at your pitch game, you need to come up with innovative idea. You have to need to come up with this exceptional point of view, the what value you bring to the table. Okay. Now I have nearly completed half an hour. I think I should share something. I think I'm talking one way. Now, before I go to this sharing audio visual with you, every story is a strategy. Every novel idea is a strategy. Therefore, every story should provide clear answer for your pitch problem. Let's take example. Hotel industry. Let's talk about IT industry. Talk about Industry 4.0. I hope you know what is the Industry 4.0. I will share with one or two clips to Industry 4.0, what is it all about. As an industrialist, you know definitely. How does Internet of Things redefining hotel industry? How does Internet of Things different logistic industry? How Internet of Things is differentiating traditional hotel and a place like Airbnb? How does a hotel industry like Starwood Group understand the consumer behavior because of Internet of Things? Now, these are the which substance I'm telling you. When you are developing an algorithm, how does algorithm will answer particular questions? The algorithm development sequence, how does it applying customer experience? Is my customer experience is linear or dynamic? How does I develop my code in order to break this problem? I hope I'm using technical jargon. You understand you are from the technical verticals. Yeah, why I'm using that. Maybe management people there, I'm willing to explain about it if there is any problem on that. Now, where do we compete when you do the pitching game? Your vertical can be anything, as I said. You are maybe telecom. You are making mechatronics. You may be a civil engineering. Where do we compete? The most important thing in any strategy, any innovation, what unique value do we bring to the market or that case to the table? Assuming you have a Dhammika Pereira, Sumal Pereira, or Dilip Javira, I mean, a leading name in this country have more money to burn. You want to tell them, look, my idea is brilliant, second to none. I'm the first among the equal. Therefore, this is my unique value. That's the point. Your pitch is all about nothing else. It's unique value. Yeah, of course, the accountant is worried about discounted cash flow. What is the net present value? Within how many years I can recover this money, internal rate of return? Yes, those things are very important. Yet, the first cut is the deepest. Within the 3 minutes, can you convince Warren Buffett or Chamat Palihapitiya with social capital your idea? Now, we are going to listen to Chamat Palihapitiya today. We are going to talk about hotel industry, and we will talk about what is the molecular biology, not the molecular biology. We are going to talk about molecular gastronomy, how cooks using chemistry, the physics to develop dishes in order to attract people to invest in their multi-billion-dollar worth of restaurant. There are restaurants in the world, you have to wait 45 days in queue to get in a table in that particular restaurant. Today we are going to listen to him. We're going to see that restaurant. That is your pitching game, nothing else. IRR is secondary. Discounted cash flow is secondary. Net present value is secondary. Even though it is a money game, it's all about pitching game. But still, your unique value idea bring the customer to your side. Therefore, make sure you need to have a mind of a strategist. If you can't, if you're not in a situation, you can't bring the value. I think you may not hear about the book called The Mind of a Strategist, guy called Kinshiome. I think thanks to Professor Gunapalana Nayakkara or Professor Udita Liyanage. Maybe both of them, maybe. I got this book. I really indebted to them. Fantastic book. If you can find a book. I is a PDF available, if I'm not mistaken. You don't want to pay money on that. Nice book. There's a nice story behind it. It's all about storytelling. And then, how capable and what are your resources and how do we use them? When you do the pitching, your team is most important. This is my idea about new hotel. This is my product of the hotel. This is a new palatable cuisine. This cuisine is not in Sri Lanka, not in any other country in the world. Therefore, I'm going to patent. I have already applied the patent office of Sri Lanka. Now, do you heard about in 2001 until 2015 in England, UK, the London, there is a national dish, most favorite dish of that more than 10 years continuously? Anyone, can you tell me what is that dish? Rather, what was? Still, I think it is the one of the favorite. Top 5. Anyone? In England? British aristocratic? Anyone can tell me? With their traditional way of eating, high teas, what was their most outstanding dish for so many years in London? Anyone can type, anyone can try, rather than this monolithic talk. It's almost 45 minutes now. Anyone try, please? Hurry up. I don't mind somebody. Talk to me. I feel very alone here because no one is in the 27th floor. I know for sure. Anyone can try what was rather, I think still, if not, most highly rated famous dish. It is chicken tikka masala. As an industrialist, what is the application you to become innovative with that? Because according to the World Economic Forum 2025, I can tell you, industrial people not going to get jobs. You go to the World Economic Forum website and find out 2025 leading. I'm sorry, there is no jobs for industrialists. There is no jobs for typical engineers. But there are jobs for engineering background people who know design thinking, who know do the predictive models. Therefore, you need to think out of the equation. Now tell me, as a Sri Lankan, we have failed take any our dish to anywhere. All things are not, Kotroti is not from Sri Lanka, it's from Pakistan. All those duntel bhat and all those biryanis from India and Pakistan. Our own ambultiya. How can electrical and electronic engineer support idea of ambultiya take to the London 4-square restaurant? Now that is the multi-billion-dollar question I am throwing at you. Now, keeping in this mind, now please watch this thing and get some ideas. Sahana, please see this audio and video is audible and visible.
Blumenthal.
Can you see hear the voice? Okay, good.
With his Spanish colleague Ferran Adrià, he has had a significant impact on molecular cuisine over the years and continues his intensive cooperation with science to this day. This is not
For me, science is important in cooking for several reasons, particularly in restaurant cooking. Because if you were to cook, let's say you have 3 or 4 or 5 dishes that you love to cook and you think you're really good at, and you think all the people that eat it will love it. You cook those dishes. You cook with your eyes closed. It's in a gastronomic kitchen, and I think many people are getting to the end. So that means you have to get consistency is the most important thing.
If you want to dine at the Fat Duck, you have lunch and dinner to 42 guests daily. Guests need to set aside at least 4 hours to enjoy the celebrity chef's creations.
all the efforts here are directed. The central element is the quality of the dishes. They are reviewed and discussed in the kitchen until the very last moment.
Cleaner.
Snail porridge is one of the dishes that have made Heston Blumenthal world famous. He has always been fast that have made Heston Blumenthal world famous. He has always been fascinated by using novel cooking techniques to create new taste sensations.
For me, cooking isn't about going with mathematical formulae.
Heston Blumenthal works with various scientists in England to develop new dishes. For example, using herbs that they have not yet experimented with. Stylist chef, he not only learned to work very accurately with ingredients, but also to break with old cooking traditions.
Cookers in classical French cooking that will soak up the water. That's not true. Take some mushrooms, cut them in half. That is not true. And you must have heard this. Brown the meat to keep in the juices.
Great thirst for knowledge and experimentation. The world's first experiments with liquid nitrogen in the kitchen took place in these laboratories in Bray, an essential part of any molecular cuisine. Fat duck. For instance, this smooth, melt-in-the-mouth green tea and lime mousse bowl, which was only given the chef's blessing after countless experiments.
90% of all our experiments are what a lot of people would think quite dull. So we might take vanilla ice cream, we might take 6 vanilla ice creams, and in the same recipe, apart from the egg yolk content, we might just change the egg yolk content to look at how the vanilla flavor is released. We might do 6 ice creams, one with
edible sand in Sound of the Sea was prepared with cassava roots, marinated in advance, and each contributed. Now the only thing still needed is the roaring surf. Various species of seaweed and dried shiitake mushrooms complements the work of art. And to give the dish a really intoxicating swoosh, a specially equipped shell provides the sound effects.
cooking, is it a science or an art? Well, they're both involved. It's hard for a chef to call himself an artist. But I would say the most important thing with food.
Okay, sorry, we have very little time left. And this is a problem with sometime with doing webinar. Its time flies like that. Anyway, before I go to the next thing, I just want to share something also. I hope I can find that quickly. All right, that's very bad. It's not there. Okay, this is very, very scientific. And you can hear me, right? Hello? Son, you can hear me?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. This is very much numbers. This is all about algorithms. This is all about one of the out of silos thinking. And you will be amazed. The Singaporean company taking jackfruit from Sri Lanka, they turned into what? Anyone? Anyone can type? Singaporean company taking jackfruit here from Malaysia and Sri Lanka. I think they're important from both places. Turned into meat. Now that's a multi-million-dollar value and the novel idea with your pitch. Now, this is the innovation we bring to the table. It is not that what is your presentation, how you do that. It's not the case. Everything is boiled down to your idea. How important, how deep that value bring to the table. Therefore, as an engineer, as an industrialist, now there is a super duper example I'm going to show it to you that give you, I mean, this is amazing. This is, I'm going away from Singapore to Chile, and you see it's all over the world now. And maybe you have come across this thing, or came across rather.
The food that we love to eat. Hi, everyone. I am Matthias. So what am I supposed to do with this? Gotta say, I'm honestly really anxious to start reading all of these questions and answering in the most honest way I can. I read on one of the labels of nut milk the ingredients cabbage and pineapple. Like what? My first reaction was exactly that. What?
So cool that you guys clone stuff.
Clone stuff? Clone? That Giuseppe machine is just marketing.
It's an offensive question, I would say, to me.
So